keep an eye on the sky out there for some major storms because I've got Anthony C. Ferrante here. Sharknado 1, 2, and 3, hell no.
I love that subtitle. It's great.
I have had so much fun watching these films. It's so corny, but the way that you direct it so straight is just pure brilliance. I mean, how do you keep everybody to keep a straight face and not just crack up?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we shoot these things so fast that there's no time to really crack up. But no, I mean, we treat it like we're making a movie. I mean, we go in and we play it as if it's like a regular disaster, and then we always try to ground it. If you're comic relief, you can be funny, and if there's humor, it has to come from the situation with the characters, and a lot of the stuff too is on the spot. We're improvising and making things more natural. So I think that's part of it. I think the key to the movies. I mean, there's a lot of these genre movies where it's all out camp, where everybody's in on the joke, and those movies work too. But I think ours work in a certain way because we're just taking it so straight. Because you already have something crazy. You have a Sharknado. That in itself, that is your camp factor. That is the crazy thing, and then everything else just works in line with it.
When I was asking my nephew, this was years ago when the first Sharknado came out, I said, "Oh, what do you want to go see at the movie theater?" And he said, "I want to see Sharknado." I thought he was joking. Who came up with this idea in the first place?
The idea that came about, I was writing a lot of scripts for sci-fi, and when you do a lot of scripts, you pitch a lot of ideas. So you come up, here's a title, and here's what it could be. So you're doing like 10 or 20 of these things over a period of time. And one of my writing partners, Jacob Hare, and I was the horror guy, so I was always coming up with the horror scripts. And so he said, we got to come up with a couple just crazy ones to toss in there. And so I think one of them was Lava Birds, and the other one was Sharknado. So we pitched it twice, nothing happened. And then I wrote a Leprechaun script for sci-fi, and I put a reference to a Sharknado in there, and that's when they said, we have to make this movie. And so the first Sharknado sighting is in a movie called Leprechaun's Revenge. It's also called Red Clover on DVD. So you'll see an actual reference to a Sharknado, and then, of course, we were making Sharknado.
So that's a great lesson, I think, for a lot of directors and writers out there, is to just not give up. I mean, were you devastated when they said no the first time?
No, because we pitched like 20 ideas. I mean, they're just a whole bunch of things. We liked the title. We always thought it was a cool idea. And when we told people, we knew there was something special. And then when they ended up making it, that's what happened. I mean, it was definitely an interesting process, because the thing is, like, most of the stuff I had done was horror up until that point. I mean, it was just like a silly title to us. It was like, okay, on to the next one. I mean, Lava Birds. I mean, could have been Lava Birds. Who knows?
So you didn't have the script written at that point. It was just an idea that you pitched.
They hired Thunder to write the original script, and then I came in to direct, and that's sort of the story.
How fun! What's next?
Well, right now there's a script I have called Agony, which we're hopefully getting close to doing. It's more of a thriller. I have a couple of the scripts that I've written that are out there, and then we'll see if another Sharknado manifests.
That was going to be my next question. Where can you put the sharks next?
You know what? I mean, look, we crammed 4 Sharknado movies into number 3. I mean, it's literally like we had a road trip, Orlando, Washington, and space. Yeah. So we crammed 4 things in there. If we can cram 4 things in there, there's still cities to destroy. There's still crazy ideas. And I wrote the Archie versus Sharknado comic book that came out right when the movie came out. And I was thinking, we're going to be out of ideas. But while I was writing, I'm like, oh, we haven't done that. And I did this. And it was so, there's still stuff to do. I think as long as you have sort of that child-eye view of what we want to, what it's about, as long as you remember that. I mean, because, the first thing that I pitched for number 3 was White House Down with Sharks, which ended up being our teaser. So it's like we were able to take genres that we want to make and put them within the Sharknado world. So that's the kind of the fun. We got to do a space movie. I got to do a 30-minute space movie that was pretty awesome with David Hasselhoff as a space cowboy. That, I mean, who would have figured you could do that? So I think as long as there's things to mine like that, we're fine. But again, they have to green light it, and everything has to be official, and we all have to be invited back, and and all that kind of stuff. So
I have an idea, and I'm going to pitch this on camera. So just in case you go for it, then you got to include me in the movie, and at some point, how about instead of tornadoes, we go with earthquakes, and it's Sharkquake.
But you can't do that. We've already done it. We did Sharknado. You know, that's the thing is like everybody goes, oh, what about marrying two other animals? Like we did Sharknado. I mean, there's not you can't go beyond that. I mean, someone might come up with something really crazy down the road and that'll blow up, but you know, it was like the confluence of two perfect things.
But they come out of the ground. I'm going to work on it. I'm going to develop it some more, and then we'll air it at the Burbank Film Festival. Please continue to share your projects with us. You promise?
I will.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much.